Can't get your high school kid to focus on school? It's not a problem in the homes of these two young men. This is quite a story. Vytal.ai, Vytal.ai, if you want to follow along. Sai Sematapalli and Rohan Kalahasti are standing by. Thank you, fellas, for joining me. And I apologize if I mispronounced the name. Was I close?
Yeah, you were.
You were good.
All right, good. Let me start with you, Sai. You guys are seniors at what school?
Thomas Jefferson High School in D.C.
And Rohan, how'd you become friends?
Yeah, we met. It was in 9th grade computer science class. We were trying to build a Connect 4 game.
This AI healthcare merger thing that's going on is huge. The good that AI can do when it comes to making the rest of us healthy. But what you two are working on is just absolutely remarkable. Explain the big dream and where you are right now.
Of course, yeah. So essentially, the realization that drove us to create Vytal in the first place was the understanding that there was no quantifiable way to measure your brain health, right? Even today, with all of our advanced technology, when you walk into the room of a neurologist, you're often doing stuff like memory tests, which can be highly subjective, and it's really easy to have bias come into play. So with Vytal, we've built a quantitative way using eye tracking to develop concrete metrics to sort of track your brain health over time.
And therefore showing cognitive decline or cognitive health.
Exactly.
Well, that's a very big deal. So where are you right now, and where does this go?
Yeah, so we've been building out this technology for the past 2 years. But within the past 6 months, we've completely finished our beta tests for this application. And we're essentially just doing one final set of beta testing before being ready to deploy this app into the world.
I mean, this is just miraculous, especially for people that have undiagnosed degenerative brain diseases. Will this catch something, a rare disease or a disease that may occur later in life if you are doing this test now?
Yeah, of course. So we've already seen with a large portion of our beta users that a lot of the times, you can have these symptoms that you might just say that, it might be due to old age or history of playing sports. But what our app is able to do is it's able to, obviously using our machine learning algorithm, sort of dive into those intricacies to really distinguish between, is this just something that's happening due to age, or is this a serious issue? And we've already seen that happen in about 50 to 75 of our beta testers.
Why have I not heard more about eyesight and degenerative brain disease?
Yeah, so you're right, actually. This has been a field. So the link between eye tracking and brain disease has been something that's been set up for the past 40 years. But the big issue is that these huge companies have essentially monopolized the space of eye trackers and have hiked up the price of eye trackers to over $10,000, right? So this technology is not something that's accessible for the normal person, and it's not even affordable for clinics, right? So that's been the main thing stopping eye tracking from being used in a brain health scenario. So essentially what we've done at Vytal is we've created a way to get the same information as those $10,000 eye trackers for the mere sense that it costs to power a phone.
Well, I think Cardia Mobile is a great way to monitor for heart arrhythmia, things like that. And there's been technology that's been developed like this. Is this a device we'll have to carry, or is it as simple as an app on our phone?
Yeah, so right now, the beta application that we have live at app.vytal.ai can completely be run from your Chrome browser, right? So all you have to do is just type in that URL, make an account, and you can run through the entire application for free. And we are currently building out our mobile application as well. So in the future, we envision a laptop and smartphone hybrid where it's as simple as running an app or typing in a URL.
The amazing thing about this is, and we do our vetting as well, and everybody that's a skeptic, of course, I'm sure you guys hear this all the time, but they jump on this and go, oh, is this another Theranos? You guys have been fully vetted. This technology has been vetted in a way that Theranos never was. This is something that's being developed by you two in conjunction with some very big, powerful organizations, and it looks like an absolute home run. If you go to Vytal.ai, you see some of the schools and the researchers and developers working on AI, different institutions who believe in this. You should be very proud of yourselves, but what I'm wondering is, what is the measurement going to show me? You're not going to get a plaque on your brain reading, right?
Yeah. So essentially, the app can kind of be compared to a blood pressure machine, kind of, right? Blood pressure machines give you two numbers that tell you about cardiac health. What our app does is it gives you a set of numbers that tell you about your overall brain health. And each of the specific numbers that we calculate have been shown by hundreds of published papers to be linked to specific diseases. So, to give an example, right, there's one number that we calculate called latency. And latency has actually been linked to very early onset Alzheimer's. So that's like one example of a number that you're going to get by using our app.
So will you be able to track then Alzheimer's, corticobasal degeneration, Pick's disease? Is it all types of brain disease, dementia?
Yeah. So there's been a plethora of brain diseases that have been shown to be linked to eye movement changes. So this includes Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS. There's been around 10 different diseases that have been linked to eye tracking changes. So those are the specific diseases that you can track the onset and progression of using our app.
Even concussions. I would think of, the football players are getting concussions. Would this be something, I mean, you've got your physicians on field and they're checking for concussions right away. Would this be something maybe high school or level, you would come home and you could just be on your computer or app to do that check?
Yeah, of course. So I'd say there's like two layers to how our application can be used, especially in like a heat of the moment scenario where you don't have time to really consult a third-party neurologist. You can get a base reading of your just overall brain health, right? Because what we do is we provide healthy ranges, right, or typical ranges for the average person. So you can immediately see if any of your numbers sort of fall outside of this range, right? Which will give you like that base information that you need to know, like, are you experiencing any brain damage, concussions, etc.? And then when you want to dive into more specific diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, then obviously, more research needs to be done on the specific metric results because, that's obviously a more thorough diagnosis.
So just to be clear on this, neither of you are advocating this as an emergency 911 thing. You're saying like a blood pressure monitoring situation, you should make this part of your healthy adult life.
Exactly. And medicine is really the only field where people set baselines by taking tests like every 2 years. We want to make our technology something that's ubiquitous in people's daily lives, right? They can take these tests every day, even by essentially just giving a few moments of their time. And that'll allow them to detect these diseases very, very early on in their onset. And what this really does is it opens the door for the actionable treatment of these diseases, right? We're finally in an age where treatments for diseases like Alzheimer's are being approved by the FDA. So getting that diagnosis early on is more crucial than ever right now.
But what about the people? There are people that this will benefit. I love the idea of getting a baseline of your brain health, but you could potentially get people that are goofing around and they're moving their eyes, as fast as they can just to get sort of a different read. Does that factor into any research?
They need to get out and have fun.
Yeah.
Well, we actually do have inbuilt protections in the app against that. We can detect things that are just completely out of the norm.
So you throw the anomalies out.
Exactly.
Are you guys going to be a public company at some point? Because I'd like to give you all my money right now and invest.
Yeah. So just to give some numbers about how our investments have worked so far, we've raised about $1.5 million at a $12.5 million valuation. And as long as we can, our goal is to run private because, once we get into the public space, it sort of gets more corporate. And especially in the medtech space, we've seen in the past, it's really easy to get money hungry and, involuntarily lead to stuff like price hiking. So we want to stay private as long as possible. Just continue working through partnerships and licensing with hospitals and running pilots like that.
Yeah, and because if they're not already lining up to buy you, these big companies will, if not to try to safeguard their share of the market, also because you've got such a promising thing here. I couldn't be more impressed.
I know it. Not to mention the movie companies. They're going to write a movie about you guys.
Yeah. So well done, gentlemen.
Yes.
Enjoy your young lives as well in the hour or two a day you do that and allow yourselves to do that. But God bless you. Keep up the good work, and I hope you'll come back on to talk more.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thanks,
you.
Guys.
Pretty amazing.
How about that? 17-year-olds.
Wow.
I mean, I'm floored.
Yeah.
The technology. Can you imagine those two figuring this out? And then all of a sudden actually going, whoa, we just figured this out.
And the way I look at this is,
They're
if you're
high
concerned,
fives.
if you're concerned about grandma,
Yeah.
you do this the same way you try to get a little kid to eat vegetables. You trick them. You go, hey, let's do a brain game. This could be fun.
And it's on the computer. Here, look at this.
But try it yourself first so you have a sense of how it works. Again, it's app.vital, V-Y-T-A-L, .ai. App.vital, V-Y-T-A-L, .ai. I'm a little concerned to do it right now because I think they'd go, you should really take a nap.
Yeah.